Good day all, and welcome back for another episode of Mega Man Battle Network 6. This is Greentown. As to why it's called that, I could not possibly tell you, but I'm fairly certain you can make a reasonable deduction as to why it's called that.
Well, it doesn't make sense because there's so many scientists here. Shouldn't it be called Scientistburg or something like that?
Nerdsville?
Dorks place? I don't know.
Brilliant.
Yeah, nicely done. Excellent start.
You should be a city planner with that kind of wit and tenacity.
Man, you know, and I think I've said this already, but I have actually had this on and off urge to play, like, the SimCity games. Like, I keep thinking that I should get, like, 2,000 or 3,000 off of, like, good old games, which I really have not frequented that much these days, which is kind of lame. But, you know, because I played a little bit originally back when I was in, like, middle school. Like, I took typing because I had to take typing. And everybody rushed through it because they had a Macintosh full of games on it. And I made like a little city. And then they kept complaining at me. It was like, there aren't enough roads. There aren't enough stuff. I'm like, what if I want to just have a tiny town? Alright? This isn't like the Roman Empire. I don't have to make it bigger than it needs to be. Come on, guys.
Were you building cities in the sky? Is that why they were complaining about no roads?
No, I wasn't, although that would be a perfectly legitimate concern, I would think.
Like, oh my god, you go out for a drive, you fall off into the Neversphere.
One cool thing I do have to say about, like, Minecraft is, like, you can actually make, like, a fucking sky island and get away with it. Did this really seem like a good use of Beast Out, by the way?
Yes.
Alright, I can't argue with that.
Well, I got to show off the fucking, like, Gatling gun buster.
I know, it's pretty good. I mean, like, I've always said that the Buster is more of a support weapon in this series than it usually is in the main games, but when it's a machine gun buster, that's always nice.
Oh yeah, you gotta give it a little bit of screen time there. I have no idea what that Golem does apart from smashing his fists. We will be coming across like a few more nature-themed viruses, shall we say.
You know, this just makes me miss Woodman. Like, Woodman was an optional boss in the first game. I mentioned his NetOp before, Sai, who was also one of those official net battlers in the anime that worked underneath fucking Commander Beef, of all people. His fight was actually pretty tough, because if you did not have the proper setup, he could wreck you. Like, fucking Easyville, man. Like, you really had to watch out for his wood towers, which would just go across and kind of track you on the grid. He was fucking annoying to fight, I have to say.
I definitely we're even going to get a chance to use this bomb. I think another one comes along and takes its place.
Just, you know, putting it in there on the off chance it'll get some love, you know, during this playthrough.
You know, I'm trying to, like, go outside of my comfort zone and, like, customize my deck to show you guys, like, different battle chips and so on.
Whoa, those were a lot of flowers back there. They should have called this place Flower Town, am I right?
It's going to be like this for the entirety of the Greentown visit, isn't it?
Pretty much. That's what you sign on for when you wanted me, hey, let's do Battle Network. Well, it was your fucking mistake, wasn't it? I'm totally not someone you've met before. Nope. I like how they had to load in the double doors to the you know, the courthouse, things like that.
Just in case you weren't paying attention last time, we got a summons and we've got to, like, basically give testimony against Captain Blackbeard, you know, Diveman EXE's operator.
Dude, we talked to you, you said nothing, and then you walked by, and then now you say freeze to us?
He's got to leave an impression.
I'm not moving right now. See, if I rollerblade off of these steps, I'll die. Did you see that sign back in the aquarium? Are you gonna challenge me to a card game? I hope not.
It feels like this is where it's going. It's like I'm about to lose my star chips and my favorite card.
I really like the panic fight during Duelist Kingdom. I don't know why. That guy's always stood out for me.
Remind me who that was?
He was the dude that had the fuck huge dual glove, and he actually beat Mai and, like, scared her so much that she just lost control, and, like, he got all our star chips, and then Yugi won the back. And he was, like, that spiky-haired motherfucker who, like, hit his monsters in the dark and things like that.
Oh, is that the one with the floating castle?
Broke the flotation, the infamous, you know, floating castle bit.
Breathe it in, Hell Dragon. The smell of authority. The scent of truth, justice, and the Greentown way.
I saw the truth back there, and for a brief moment I thought it was related to that anti-smoking campaign, so I'm not really sure why they have an exhibit for that in a courthouse.
I thought you meant Dare for a second.
Well, Dare was another one of those. That was the one that kind of went around my school when I was younger.
Same. Drug abuse resistance education.
Everybody wanted, like, the guy we got that came in was a guy named Officer Dan. I liked Officer Dan, and he had, like, a stuffed lion animal that everybody tried to get the chance to hold on to for a little bit. We were, like, in, like, what grade? Second, third? I don't know. I just remember it was more fun than whatever lesson we were currently learning. So fuck it, I won't smoke. Alright, let's just play around a little bit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Bureaucracy is always biting us in the ass.
Wait a minute, he got a fucking subpoena. What do you mean he's not on the list?
Well, probably just slipped through the cracks. We were added, like, this afternoon.
That's true, but all the same, I mean, considering how much Greentown is a huge fan of Law & Order, not the TV show, I've seen that recently.
Dun dun!
Man, that Gamergate episode, wow. But anyway, I mean, like, considering they like it so much and the bureaucracy, you would think, you know, making sure that went through properly would be, like, priority number one.
Well, the aquarium director's got other things on his mind. It's not every day you have to testify against a pirate.
Man, they were getting a lot of use out of this guy, which is really odd for NPCs in the Battle Network universe.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to be like a bit character.
It reminds me of when, like, the director of, like, the Waterworks in the first game, his son, like, he was like an NPC portrait, but then in the anime, they actually fleshed him out to be a completely separate, new, original character. No, this happened.
No, I thought you said flushed out for a second, and you know, Waterworks and so on.
Oh, okay, but still, I mean, they made him like an original character, and then he didn't really do anything, and he became one of Lan's useless friends while Lan had all the fun. So yeah, that was worth it.
So yeah, Greentown is supposed to be a crime-free society, so there are more laws and stuff in place. Just think of it like the movie Equilibrium, but with a lot more plants.
And a lot less gung fu. Ah, that's too bad. I mean, like, I cannot predict this backfiring at all, by the way. There definitely isn't, like, 10,000 fucking books about the whole idea of having a crime-free society go horribly, horribly wrong.
Anyway, we've got to jack into the network here and get something that will allow us to proceed into the actual courtroom itself unhindered.
So wait, they can't just print like an ID card temporarily?
What have we like talked about in regards to like reading in the future? It just doesn't happen.
That's true. I mean, like, yeah, if it's not written digitally, then they're not gonna know what the fuck's going on.
If they don't have a blog, they may as well be a dog. That's my motto.
I don't know if you want a dog with a blog. Have you heard about that Disney series?
I haven't actually.
Yeah, you know, the way I describe it, you probably should not check it out. I don't think it'll work out for you. Okay, so what exactly piece of information or physical evidence or whatsoever are we gonna get to have them allow us to enter the courtroom?
You asking me, or are you just being rhetorical?
I could be both. I'm flexible, Tom. That's what's important about this commentary.
Well, you should have paid attention to the dialogue, like me.
Let's just double check this really fast.
Let's just say that we need it to advance the plot, and that's all that matters. Here we go. The bulk bomb F. This is what's going to replace the bomb that we placed in the deck earlier.
Did you just cough something up back there?
What, the bulk bomb?
The blip blip.
Not to be confused with the Ek Blaster.
Ugh, fuck. We're just standing around shooting the shit, obviously.
Oh, so a bunch of nerds are, like, out somewhere, just sitting in a corner, like, and having their, like, programs converse with one another.
Wait a minute. Wait. These are Navis that are studying to become lawyers. Can't you just, like, program yourself to know law? Last time I checked, isn't there, like, a battle chip you can use to instantly know, like, when you should park in a certain area or something like that?
Yeah, I imagine it would be like the Matrix, like, whoa, I know Lawyer Fu.
Although, to be fair, I can easily imagine the possible negative connotations that could result by having a computer know law and judge people and, like, defend them in court.
Ooh, it's funny you say that, because, well, keep watching, I guess.
I mean, I know it happens, but at the same time, like you know that movie, what was that one movie? You know the movie where it was, that thing that happened? No, I'm gonna be more
Yeah, you've got to be less vague than that, mate. I can't work with these conditions.
It was the movie with Tom Cruise where they would actually, prevent crimes before they actually
Minority Report.
Yeah, the Minority Report. Something like that. Like, you can easily imagine how trusting that kind of thing to computers or precognitive technology could easily go horribly, horribly wrong.
Also, I think the concept of, like, arresting someone before they've committed a crime is kind of heinous, really. I mean, if they're acting suspicious, then I'm sure there's a law in place that can, like, you know, issue you a warrant and so on. But you can't, like, arrest someone for murder if they haven't committed murder. That's stupid.
I mean, I've read 1984, and they basically had a whole thing about this called thought crime, where it's like you're so afraid of thinking potentially anything that could get you in trouble, and as a result, society has become like this really sterile, rigid kind of thing.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I think it was like a Treehouse of Horror episode where Bart's like a god or something, and everyone has to make sure to think sweet, nice thoughts about him, otherwise they get turned into a dog or a Jack-in-the-Box.
Oh yeah, that was based on a Twilight Zone episode about like that little kid who everybody had to behave, you know, around him, otherwise horrible things would happen. But they subverted it in that own, you know, Simpsons way and things like that.
I see you agree, Homer. I'm not nodding, it's just the air conditioner. Oh yeah, attack 1, my buster's gonna go up.
Yeah, it's gonna go up by one whole thing.
Here's that screen again. You didn't think it would be coming back, but it did.
Well, I'm glad you're using the Navi customizer more and more, because I mean, like I said before, if you use it properly, you can get a pretty good setup going. The music is surprisingly jazzy for the Navi customizer. I like it.
Yeah, well, you want to be encouraged to, like, experiment and whatnot. And if there was just some dull drear, like, dun dun, dun 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 sort of music, you just be like, I just want to get in and out, really.
Dun 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 dun. Is that the tune for, like, a song from Chrono Trigger, I think?
I was thinking Pokemon myself, the anime.
Okay, well, that's true. That could also be the same thing.
We're just gonna burn these corn, don't worry about it.
Burnt corn tastes the best. I mean, that's how you make popcorn, basically. Well, you cook it, but if you burn it too much... Am I the only one who kind of enjoys eating slightly burned popcorn, or is that just me?
I can't recall, like, a time in recent years where I've even had popcorn, so I'm just gonna agree.
You have not had popcorn? A quote-unquote healthy snack? I am ashamed.
No, in years. You've got to listen when I talk. It upsets me.
Man, Heatcross is getting a lot of mileage in this part.
Well, you know, we're up against... I'm not really sure what their element is, but they are apparently weak to fire, so that's good enough for me.
Well, the main elements are... Because I have a list that I'm going to bring up here.
Okay.
The ones I can say off the top of my head are fire, wood, aqua, elec, and then you get into the weird shit. They have other elements called... Let me bring it up here. Elec, wood, recovery, plus, sword. That's an element now. That makes sense, right? Invisible, cracking, or breaking.
Smashing.
Smashing, obstacle, wind. Wind is also an element, which sounds like an element. And then a separate break, you know, element. And they kind of changed them up between the games. I'm sitting there like, I know you want to have like your own little rock, paper, scissors kind of thing. And I know you didn't want to copy off Pokemon entirely, but having sword be an element just doesn't really sit that well with me.
What's sword strong against exactly?
I believe it's strong against break. Let me take a look again really fast.
Because, you know, fire beating water, well, other way around, I guess, and, like, fire beating grass, that makes sense, but, sword,
Oh, my mistake. It's actually weak against break element. It's strong against wind, of all things, because, as you know, sword is awesome at cutting tornadoes in half. Makes total sense.
Indubitably. Okay, we've got to bypass this door by finding the right answer to what is the punishment for hitting a Mr. Prog on the head?
100 years dungeon.
Oh, Jesus.
I suppose. I mean, we all gotta earn a paycheck. I wanted to be an artist, but I know my dad wouldn't approve of that, and I suppose being a lawyer is better than nothing, right?
You thought this was going to be free?
What, there's a fucking membership fee for your nerd club? Go to hell.
What's funny is in one of the takes, I was on my way back and I fought like a few, like, you know, virus battles that I could out. I was like, I got a bit of spare cash on me now, I'll buy one of those HP memories. So I bought it, I got here, and I had just under 1,000 zenny.
Oh, that sucks. You know, I don't really see the point of joining, like, a lawyer's club or study group or buddy or mastermind or whatever, when you really could have just looked this up through, okay, but then again, we have established that this is a world where Google does not exist for some reason.
Yeah, this is the anti-Google timeline.
Yeah, Lan has to go around and do stuff himself. It's called Battle Network Go. You should get into that.
The only way you can learn the information you need to bypass the door is by joining the club, by the way.
Yeah, because that's how it works in this weird kind of game where, you know, logic doesn't make sense.
Don't you give me a non-answer now.
Why do you need to know? Wait a minute, don't lawyers have to, like, look this shit up anyway? They're not gonna memorize all this crap off the top of their head.
You'd be surprised. And that is...
Well, usually punishments tend to piss people off. Just gonna throw that out there.
It's just something that's very infuriating.
Oh. Aren't you glad you paid 1,000 zenny for that?
Money well spent.
Man, I could have bought a book about the law for less on Amazon and given you a proper answer right away.
Well, you're not a computer program. You don't know how to jack it and then learn about, like, the fucking facts of the courtroom.
Yes, but I live in a reality where Google and Amazon exist.
But you're in the worst timeline.
Yeah, that's true. I really shouldn't have killed that optional boss. That otherwise would have set me on the right path.
Don't worry, we got this.
Yeah.
I don't think the door's pleased.
It should have been more specific. Oh, no, it doesn't have to be more specific. You know, the last thing you want when you study law.
Yeah, you don't want to bring vagaries into the courtroom. I don't think any party will appreciate that.
That kind of shit sets up retrials. Come on, guys. On an off note, I really like this little bird, you know, with the hat over here, and he's got the little bee's nest. That's actually a really great design.
Vaguely Digimon-esque.
Yeah, I sort of get a Digimon vibe, too, from that guy. I mean, he's dead now, so I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, no, now it does. Oh, fucking love that gun. It's great.
Another cool thing about Beast Out mode is you'll just friggin' warp to where the enemy is, regardless of where they are on the grid.
It's so useful, yeah.
We'll see you next time for another exciting lore-filled part. Bye for now.